Welcome back to Rad City Resin. I'm Mary, and I grew up in a family of farm workers, traveling back and forth, north to south and back again. Some of my earliest memories are of running through apple orchards or climbing a peach tree and pretending it was a horse named Strawberry, ironically. And even now, both my parents seem to have the ultimate green thumb. My dad has filled their backyard full of orange trees, cactuses, and even a pineapple or two. My mama is in her plant era and she has so many different varieties of succulents and plants on her back porch, it looks like a store. Somehow, that green thumb completely skipped a generation because the most successful plant in my yard is a random passion flower vine that sprang up out of nowhere. I don't know where it came from. So, what's a girl to do when she can't even grow a weed? I guess I'll have to just conjure one up with resin and magic. I had a vision for this week's project, Technicolor Secret Garden. So, follow me and I'll show you all the secrets. I started out with some 20 gauge copper crafting wire, maybe a bit more than I really needed, and I folded that piece of wire in half. Then I pinched it together to create a good point, like a good solid point. Then slowly I opened it up again using the curve of my thumb and pointer finger to give it a little bit of a shape. Now this is going to be the tapered end of my leaf. I went up the wire about a fingertip's length or so, then bent the wire inward at a 90-degree angle. I then looped it back around, creating a tiny little hoop facing inward toward the center of my structure. I wanted to make sure that I lined up the remaining wire with the curve of the base of the leaf. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to keep it as consistent as you can to really mimic the way a leaf forms. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, again going up about a fingertip's length, bending in at a 90-degree angle, then looping it back around to create another little hoop. Another thing you want to keep in mind is that your leaf would have a center vein that travels down the middle of the structure. And you want to make sure that you don't let your curves of your wire overlap that invisible line. I'm going to do the same thing over again a little further up along the wire, but this time I'm going to create a slightly bigger loop and I'm going to give it a little bit more of a boxy shape. I don't want it to be like a perfect square, perfect rectangle, but I do want to give it a little bit more defined curve within it. I do this by bending the wire in, then bending it up with another 90-ish degree angle, then another 90-degree angle back. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, leaves are very organic and they don't always have perfectly symmetrical shapes. I repeated that same method on the other side, again, just trying to keep my wires kind of following that same curve. Now this left me with a little bit of excess wire at the top. So I'm going to bend each side down kind of like in the shape of a heart, with one side pointing straight down toward the tip of my leaf. I use the curve of my finger to bend that portion into kind of a flowy shape. I then move to the other side, again kind of creating that heart shape. You could really exaggerate the heart shape here, but I stuck with kind of a subtle bend. I wrapped that piece of wire around the bend of the other wire, creating two tight loops to secure it together. I made sure to leave behind a little bit of a tail to act as the stem for my leaf. I then went back to the first wire. Again, that one's pointed toward the tip of the leaf, and I wrapped that around the wire right there at the base of the tip. This creates the center vein of my leaf, and so now I have a wire frame for a Monstera leaf. Again, my vision for this project was like neon, holographic, Technicolor Secret Garden, so I pulled out some iridescent cellophane. This is a $2 party bag that I bought from Hobby Lobby, and I've literally just been cutting little pieces out of it for months and still have barely made a dent in it. I cut out a few pieces, then laid a piece down on my silicone mat. Because my wire has some kind of wonky curves and doesn't want to lay flat, I did this next part very slowly in stages. First, I put down a line of resin directly onto the cellophane. Then I laid the center wire in it. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's going to get filled in anyway. I held down my piece using a plastic spatula to keep the wire as flush as I could. Then I cured that for about 30 seconds. I slowly added more resin in small sections, doing my best to try to keep the resin within the wire frame. It's okay if some slips past the border. I'm going to clean that away anyway, once I'm done. Another thing to keep in mind here, cellophane tends to shrink when it's exposed to heat, so it is going to kind of get a little bit of a ripple effect. I actually love this effect because it takes on sort of like a stained glass look to it that it's hard to replicate in any other way. Now, you don't have to use cellophane for this. You could really use anything like paper, beads, glitter, mica powder, whatever you'd like. Once I have the entire wire frame filled in with resin, I trimmed away any excess cellophane around the frame. Now, some of the resin did seep into the cutouts of the leaf, so I used my flush cutters to trim that out. I thought about drilling it out with my rotary tool, but I really just didn't feel like dealing with the mess that would make. So cutting it out like this was just fine, and then later I'm gonna go in with a fingernail file and smooth it out. Once I was satisfied that everything was cleaned up to my liking, I coated the backside in resin, and I also brushed some along the outer edges. I really took my time to layer this up because the cellophane will sometimes pull away from the resin, so I wanted to make sure it was completely secure all the way around. I made sure to cure this really well because this resin was pretty thick. Once cured, I made sure not to touch it again until the piece completely cooled down. So I absolutely loved how this looked. The pink shimmer was really gorgeous, but I did kind of want a nice pop of color. So I used some lime colored alcohol ink by Picasso alcohol inks. I've seen that some of you have actually purchased the Picasso alcohol inks, and I would love to know what you think of them. So if you've gotten some, leave a comment down below. I let the alcohol ink kind of pool at the tip of the bottle, and then I kind of let it glide around the surface of the resin. You can let the alcohol dry naturally, or if you're super careful, you can use a small flame to burn off the alcohol. This will leave behind a nice, transparent, translucent green stain. I sealed the alcohol ink with a final layer of resin to make sure that the color stayed put. I'm going to take just a second to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed. I can't believe I'm coming so close to 1,000 subscribers. 888 of you have decided to hit that subscribe button and join me every week to see these projects that I come up with, and it really just blows me away. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart, and I'm so happy to have you here. I had this silk poppy that I thought was going to be kind of cool as part of this project, but the red wasn't quite what I was looking for. Now, I love a red poppy, but this just, it's not that hypercolor secret garden I was looking for. So I took it apart and I laid it out to paint it. I used some fuchsia alcohol ink and a dollop of white acrylic paint to create a vibrant hot pink. I painted the silk on in a very thick layer, making sure to cover as much red as possible. I also dropped some pure alcohol ink onto the petal to create a little bit more color variation and to give it that dark center that a lot of flowers have. I reassembled the flower, and I didn't film this part, but I did paint the center portion of the flower black. And I also took a bit of wire, bent it in half, and then pushed it into the stem of the flower so that I would have something to be able to attach it to my final. Speaking of the final piece, I knew I wanted to create something elegant and spooky to go along with the floral piece, and I had this small 3-foot skeleton. I took it apart, leaving just the rib cage and pelvis. I used some heavy body gesso paint to paint the skeleton black, and I also had this wooden board that I painted black as well. I actually kind of created like a stain effect using that gesso and diluted it with water and just kind of put it on and then wiped away as much as I could. I added 2 little eyelets onto the board to attach the skeleton using zip ties, but that actually didn't sit right. Like the skeleton itself didn't sit properly. So my husband actually drilled 2 holes into the board for me to slip those zip ties through. I didn't film that part, sorry. We've been prepping for a hurricane. I played around with this arrangement for a while, trying to decide how I wanted this to look. And once I was satisfied with the layout, I used the wire stems to wrap around the rib bones, securing everything into place. Now, this was just one option. You could also do this with glue, hot glue, E6000, whatever you have available. But I actually wanted to be able to switch stuff out of this rib cage, possibly different flowers for different seasons. So that's why I went with the wire method. I secured the flower at the base of the pelvis as a bold focal point. There were a few spots where the black paint flaked away, so I covered the gaps with some gold leaf. The paint was still a little bit tacky, so it stuck on really easily, and I used a soft fluffy brush to smooth away any excess. And here she is. It's really giving kind of like pop punk Persephone, and I'm a little bit in love. I took it outside to take photos and I just had to stare at it. It was so lovely in the sunlight and I'm so pleased with how it turned out. This is probably going to hang on the wall all year long, if I'm being honest. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's project. I had a lot of fun making it. Hopefully it inspired you to go out and make something awesome this week. And as always, stay rad. If you enjoyed that video, take a look at this one.